The Kiwis return for another attempt at Quokka glory with Trackside New Zealand and Perth Racing selecting Crocetti to run in their slot for the Kia Quokka on April 26th. Trent Crebbin joins me now. Trent, New Zealand's champion 3-year-old male from last season, heads west looking to build on his already impressive record.
That's right, Jake. Jaike came over the Tasman to fly the flag for New Zealand last year. While he was beaten 3 1/4 lengths, he wasn't far off his previous form by racing in sports measure. Is that good enough to win the Quokka? Potentially not, but we do think Crocetti should be a better chance than Jaike, and I think he's certainly one of the each-way hopes in the race.
There seems to be a bit of a clump of runners behind Overpass and IME on the racing and sports ratings anyway, and Crocetti is definitely one of those, and they're all sort of vying for the placings. He's rated 113 with racing and sports after his win in the Sistema Railway, which is a replay that we'll look at now from Ellerslie. And he beat a few handy ones that day, didn't he, Trent?
He did, and it's worth noting as well, the blinkers went on for the first time when he won that Sistema Railway, which would have helped him spark to a new peak. The railway over there in New Zealand is not to be sneezed at either. It's a very good race. It's been won by the likes of Imperatrice, who ran to 116 with racing and sports, and a horse like Avantage, who was rated just 1 pound higher than Crocetti, 114 in her railway win. So Crocetti was a little bit disappointing at last start in the King's Plate, but that peak in the railway was only 2 runs ago, and I think it's recent enough to suggest that he can run up to his best when he comes to Ascot, and it'll be interesting to see if he can replicate that or even improve.
Yeah, and we've got a good handle on Crocetti and his ratings at Racing and Sports, though a lot of that form is intertwined through New Zealand. We should get a good line on that form, though, through Alabama Lass, who was able to turn the tables on Crocetti in that King's Plate. She's bound for a Melbourne campaign, so it'll be interesting to see how that form lines up across the Tasman. But for the Kia Quokka, let's see how Crocetti lines up on his peak rating of 113 with racing and sports. As we continue to mention with these runner profiles, Overpass is the one to beat with the racing and sports rating of 120. But as you can see, Crocetti is around some nice WA sprinters, including Western Empire, who we expect to get selected at this stage. He has not, but rumour has it that Western Empire will be in the Kia Quokka in 2025, as well as the already selected Rope Them In, who are both tipped to play big roles in the Kia Quokka in 2025. We've also got him lined up, as we mentioned, Trent, alongside his countryman in Jaike, but you've also touched on that we think he's probably a better horse for the Quokka than Jaike was 12 months ago.
Yeah, I think he definitely is. Jaike was potentially more of a miler than a sprinter. Crocetti has proven himself as a pretty adaptable horse, and like you said, he was the male champion 3-year-old in New Zealand, having won his first 7 starts in a row. He won the Group 1 2,000 guineas over a mile, but he's been just as effective back to the sprint trips. And what I like about him as well is that he is very adaptable. He can lead, he can take a sit. He's proven over a bit further, so he's got that stamina up his sleeve. And I think that's probably what he might have to do in the Kia Quokka if chasing a fast horse like Overpass.
And if I remember rightly, last year, Trent, you were pretty keen on Jaike. You bet him early and then he got out in price as well. Are you going to follow tack with Crocetti this year and maybe have a little bit of a nibble?
Yeah, well, I had something on early Jaike at the big prices, and he ended up starting around a similar price, that 40 to 1 mark. If the market took on Crocetti to a similar extent and we got those sorts of prices, I think he is a better chance than that. I think he's one of the genuine each-way hopes in the race. Whether he can improve enough to beat a horse like Overpass, that remains to be seen, but I think he's definitely in that second or third line of betting, and he's a genuine hope.
So the Kiwis are back for the Kia Quokka in 2025, with Crocetti lining up for Trackside NZ and Perth Racing in the 2025 edition of the $5 million feature. Stay tuned to 7plus Racing WA and of course the Racing and Sports social media channels for more profiles as runners get announced.
It's Alabama Lass and Crocetti.